In a shocking revelation threatening to completely upend the carefully curated narratives surrounding the Duchess of Sussex, a 27-year-old woman has suddenly emerged claiming to be Meghan Markle's long-abandoned daughter from a previous relationship. If proven factual, the allegation would contradict the former actress's public image. Meghan cultivated over years, positioning herself as a proud feminist advocate for women's empowerment causes while hypocritically abdicating inherent maternal responsibilities. The explosive claim first surfaced through an exclusive expose published by celebrity rumor tabloid VigilanteVultures.biz, identifying the supposed firstborn child as Natalie Reid, a struggling Boston-area bartender and part-time yoga instructor. According to the special investigative report assembled from court transcripts, genealogical paper trails, and DNA analysis from hair samples, overwhelming circumstantial evidence indicates Reid was legally adopted and raised solely by former boyfriend Steve Kane, a retired entertainment lawyer based in Los Angeles. My birth mother abruptly terminated all contact after disagreeing over whether to keep or terminate the unexpected pregnancy from our college fling, Reid tearfully recounted her origin story. All communications ceased after briefly reuniting, long enough confirming she intended aborting without my dad's consent until he lawyered up, preventing her from following through. She claims only sporadic child support payments arrived from mysterious sources over the ensuing years following her relinquishment to Kane's care. However, neither Meghan nor any representatives ever made any attempts re-establishing personal maternal bonds, even after the former cable TV suitress's ascendancy transforming into a world-famous celebrity through marriage into the British royal family. I'd periodically check the gossip rags growing up whenever Dad would sigh about some new career milestone she achieved, wondering if she'd finally reach out and make amends, said Reid. But that day never arrived unless there was somehow another unknown frontage being actively concealed regarding my discarded existence. Court documents obtained by Vigilante Vultures verified Reid's paternity against Kane during contested custody proceedings over 2 years waged against Meghan Markle during the aftermath of their college romance's dissolution. However, no conclusive rulings could determine if the pregnancy resulted from intermittent interludes rekindling their physical intimacy or potentially stemmed from a previous undisclosed sexual partner. According to testimonies from the exhaustive transcripts, the litigation narrowly avoided judicial awarding, decreeing Markle mandatory motherhood obligations at the time. But that only followed her sworn advisement swearing to terminate the pregnancy without the father's legal consent, citing financial insecurities inhibiting child-rearing abilities alongside blossoming career development priorities. Meghan basically admitted purposefully conceiving through frivolous birth control defiance, assuming they'd terminated together, only abandoning her commitments once she selfishly panicked over potentially derailing showbiz ambitions through inadvertent motherhood responsibilities, summarized Vigilante Vultures publisher Amanda Loughran. Her cold-blooded calculations deprived a wanted newborn from her natural birthright, getting raised by 2 loving parents, until my sources confirmed she completely disengaged from that child's existence once permanently legally absolved. In the years since, Reid says she grew up relatively comfortably within the upper-middle-class household headed by Kane, with Natalie's maternal abandonment rarely discussed except through passive bitterness expressed over the Duchess's alleged maternal abdication. However, that dynamic radically shifted once the infamous Megxit saga unfolded beginning in 2019, triggered by revelatory disappointments resonating with similar emotional neglect experiences. As more leaked reports surfaced depicting her own shockingly cruel treatment towards royal staff and household workers, I started recognizing the same self-absorbed patterns my dad always lamented about from their relationship's dissolution, said Reid. That's when I finally felt compelled speaking out, because the lurid reality contrasted so jarringly against carefully groomed progressive humanitarian branding portraying maternal empowerment and social justice advocacy. Representatives from the Duchess's communications teams have yet to credibly confirm or deny the legitimacy of the revelations surrounding this surprise firstborn. Instead, her attorneys have threatened initiating immediate defamation proceedings against any outlets recklessly publishing unverified biographical revisionism from unscrupulous rumor mills spinning fictionalized tabloid yarns intended monetizing baseless character assassinations. However, celebrity mythologists and pop culture psychologists speculated whether the uncomfortable revelations may have finally penetrated Markle's consciousness while reflecting privately during the generational royal airing of grievances. Such psilocybic reappraisals could purportedly foster confronting one's own ego's shadow aspects, avoiding the same cycles endlessly repeating themselves throughout existence, including hereditary trauma transmissions, programming dysfunctional relationship patterns cascading onwards until spiritually reparented. This young woman's sudden emergence alleging maternal abandonment potentially represents archetypal psychic schisms manifesting karmic ricochets assailing the ex-royal's own heroic rebirthing journey towards individuation, explained Dr. Olivia Bancroft, depth psychologist and consciousness guide facilitating ontological retrievals. When considering mythological contexts surrounding the Meghan archetype embodying an Orphic heroine deprived succoring maternal protection, Natalie's arrival as a Persephonic embodiment destined dragging that concealed abandonment trauma into painstaking re-illumination, these psychosocial detonations practically detonate from within, initiating dark night ordeals, repairing primal woundings. She continued theorizing that Meghan may unconsciously self-sabotage aspects of her fairy-tale imperial storybook trajectory into marital sovereignty amidst shadow mother resurgences undermining internal validations. Unless existential reckonings facilitated profoundly reparenting her fragmented self-states towards ancestral lineage repair, the cycles would endlessly recreate, circumnavigating her unreconstructed maternal paradigm against which all perceived external abandonments kept projecting until full motherline integrations completed. Unconscious and negative transferences installing false beliefs about feminine nurturing sustenance became the primal gauntlets she had to transcend before ascending to the Queen Madre, energetic, bearing spiritual offspring through her socio-cultural creative force majeure. That's the crucible she seems karmically entangled within right now as unresolved intrauterine traumatizations unravel, Bancroft said. However, psychogenealogical root workers focusing on ancestral soul inheritance patterns deconstructed the cosmological patternings underlying the sudden re-emergence as representing overdue fractal continuity integrations, essentially Meghan's original soul spark reconciling its unified emanations